Okay, wonderful. Well, welcome. Welcome to this training. I'm so glad you're here. And yeah, put in the chat where you're from, like I said. And what I'll do is if you have any questions, I will answer them at the end. So just wait to put them in the chat until then, okay? But I kind of want to start now because we really have a lot of a lot of information to go through and yeah, some really good exercises. So also just a quick reminder, I really love to see your faces, but and there will be a replay. So you'll get that after the training, a couple of hours afterwards. But if you don't feel comfortable, I will not record your video. But if you want to stay off video, that's perfectly fine. No problem. I can understand that. So just do what feels comfortable for you, okay? And for those who stay until the end, I have a really big surprise announcement. So I'm really happy to, yeah, announce that later too. So anyway, in case you don't know me, I am Jessica Lohmann, and I market, write, and speak for nature. And I graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration with a major in marketing in 1991, a long time ago. So I led marketing teams in various industries in the US and Germany and have like seen all this manipulation, harmful manipulation. It's just grown a lot since the internet. And yeah, that's why I'm that's why I'm doing what I'm doing because I just do not like this manipulation causing over consumerism. Just a lot of harm to nature, humans included. So I left the corporate world in 2013 to start my own business, and now I focus on creating and teaching ethical marketing strategies in one-to-one and group coaching sessions with creative entrepreneurs such as yourselves who want their work to contribute to protecting nature. And my goal is to help you master marketing, sales, and messaging skills to get well paying epic projects that make an impact. And my intention today with this training is for you to tweak just this one thing in your business so that you stand out because you really shouldn't have to worry about getting clients or money, in this feast or famine cycle. I want you to be able to focus most of your attention and energy on creating these absolutely wonderful campaigns with your clients that inspire entire generations to connect more with nature and shop consciously. And because most creatives, a lot of humans anyway, they despise marketing and sales for various reasons, I decided to put all my effort into helping you because seriously, I believe you are the most powerful and influential people on earth. With your words, your designs, your films, your photos, you help shift perspectives and inspire people to act. And with this immense power, you also have a responsibility to use your talent to shift behaviors, to create the world we need for future generations to thrive. So I am really honored and grateful for everyone who's here and those who'll catch the replay because you are a force for good. And please do not ever forget that. You are powerful. So, what I'm about to say in this training, some of this you might have heard already. And my ask is just that you remain open and instead of thinking, oh, I've heard that before and start like doodling or checking your phone, please just listen and ask yourself, have I already implemented this successfully or not? Sometimes we need to hear things a couple of times before it clicks and before we act. So that's why I'm here to, maybe just repeat something else you've heard, or maybe this is the first time you will hear it. Um, so I just want you to be fully present because, yeah, I'm gonna teach you some really powerful strategies. So let's dive in. Number one problem for creative entrepreneurs, regardless whether they're in the eco space or not, is not finding clients. That's what they come to me about. And the thing is that finding clients may just be the easiest thing to do in our fully digital world today. Like they're everywhere. They're all over social media and communities and in-person events. The problem is not finding clients, it's attracting them, making this problem a positioning and not a localization one. So I'm about to show you how to position yourself so that clients come to you. And just remember, like this strategy works over time. You are able to see immediate results, such as my students who quickly gained new clients, increased followers, social media engagement, and invites to speak at events. Like that can happen immediately. However, you will need some time before you can reach high goals. Okay. Marketing, yeah, it just takes time sometimes. So let's imagine that you wake up excited and start a fun, fulfilling project with a client you absolutely love. When you take a scroll break and find terrible climate news, you don't despair. You don't get all freaked out. Like, I mean, especially like now with after the US election, like there's a lot of pain in LinkedIn if you've noticed, or other media channels, because we do love nature. And anyway, I don't want to make this political, but I'm sure you resonate. So instead, you just feel fired up to get back to work. You know you're using your talent to do your part in the fight against climate change and to protect nature. So when it's time to work on your business development for the day, you pull up your checklist and just knock off the tasks quickly. Everything feels aligned and easy, and you know for sure that these will bring you your next sustainable project. And you end the day by checking your finance tracker and realize, wow, you're about to have your biggest month yet. Every invoice on your list has been paid on time. Every client is a brand you respect and love to work with. You finish your day feeling proud and satisfied. The world might be on fire, but you're making a difference every single day. So I want to know from you, like, please put in the chat, what would motivate you? What do you want your day to look like? Here, I'm going to open my chat as well. Oh, wow, Saudi Arabia. Woo, Savannah, Georgia. I lived in Atlanta for a while. Italy, India, well, Hamburg. Yeah, I'm now I'm not in Hamburg, but in Germany. I'll have to go through all of this later. Yeah, lots of different places. Hey, from Chile. So working with clients who want to make a positive difference for nature and the planet. The dream, yes. Lucian, thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? Yeah, feel free to pop it in there. Because I know that you're passionate about using your talent for good. And so you guys are like full of inspiration, and you just want to create, right? You just want to create these campaigns. The problem is, what I've seen is that business is hard, like, and it often gets pushed aside. Like, who wants to deal with sales and marketing? Like, ugh, self-promotion feels self-serving or icky, right? Like, uh, well, when it's not aligned with your ethics and it's not working, right? Then it definitely feels bad. Does any of this sound familiar? Also, you can put it in the chat. I see a lot of more there. Working with people who understand the need for art and design. Yeah, put it in the chat. Like, put yes or no if this sounds familiar. If like the marketing feels icky part, and give me one word how marketing makes you feel, if you can do that. Yes, yes. Cringe, bored, gross, tired. Yeah. Oh God. Confused, vulnerable. Yeah, cringe. Oh, human. Wow. That's a good. Love, hate. Yep. Yep. Okay. Wonderful. So to fix that problem of not attracting the right clients, I have a total of 9 strategies I teach my one-to-one clients as well as participants in our signature program called Marketing by Nature. Because we only have 60 minutes for the training part today, I want to do like 60 minutes training and 15 minutes Q&A at the end. Um, I can't like dive into all 9 strategies. Instead, I'll give you my most powerful strategy so that you can start to become an expert in your field and set yourself up for long-term financial and impact success. And this is something you can start implementing like right away. However, like I mentioned, it will probably take time to reach high goals, just like in every business. So for those of you who want to go deeper with me and learn the other 8 strategies, so that you can break out of this feast or famine cycle and secure a steady stream of clients, I'll give you an opportunity to do so at the end. So yeah, let's just move on. If you're not finding mission aligned clients with fun, impactful projects you love, then you'll likely fall prey to one of these common misbeliefs. Many freelancers and entrepreneurs and coaches end up stuck in the mud because of one of these. So, like thinking, as long as I post and email regularly, my marketing will work. Post, 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 right? Many, many entrepreneurs just like dive in without a plan. I'll just say like creative people, right? Creative entrepreneurs. They just start posting and thinking that like constant social media posting is a marketing strategy, when in fact it's just one part of the implementation plan. Um, Without a clear focus, without a strategy, you tend to waste time on social media and emails or blogging, whatever it is you're doing, with like not much to show for it, especially if you're only getting engagement from friends and colleagues and not potential clients. So the truth to this belief is that marketing requires a strategy to be effective. I always say plan for profit. You have to plan, you have to strategize. Um, the next belief is what I've been seeing is I should keep my messaging and services general so I don't push anyone away. Now, this might look like broad statements such as, I want to help save the world, or I help female business owners working for the greater good. Yeah. Or I even like I help sustainable businesses. These are vague and likely will not inspire clients to hire you because they don't feel special. This usually happens because you're unsure how to communicate your value, your true value effectively, which leads to a lack of differentiation. So the truth of this is that clients want to see you're able to help them, not everyone else. They really want an expert. They want your expertise and they want to feel special. So the next one is I'm not experienced enough to specialize, especially if you're just starting out or maybe in just like the first few years of business. You may feel that imposter syndrome, but hey, think about it. Like every human feels this at some point in their career, and even if after they've been doing this for decades. Albert Einstein had imposter syndrome, like every human. So just know that that's normal. It's okay. You're not weird. Um, the thing is that you're falling into, or you know you're falling into this trap if you want to focus on a particular topic and thoughts are coming up in your brain going, am I worthy or who am I to talk about this topic? I don't know enough. Like if those thoughts are creeping in, um, truth of the matter is, if you can do a certain type of work well, you're experienced enough to specialize in a particular industry. If you need more experience, get it. Become a student and learn. Like, even work pro bono with a client, just to get that one project and that experience. So the next one, let's move on. Number 4, I should accept projects even if they don't align with my values because they will pay the bills until I find a project I love. I'm sure many of us have been there. I've been there in the past. So without a steady stream of clients, you may tend to accept projects even if they don't align with your values. And this may not tide you over until a great project comes along because maybe they're like penny pinching projects, like 100 euros here, $200 there. It's like, kind of frustrating. So instead, that kind of work sucks up your time and energy and makes it harder for you to find the clients who do align with your values. Um, Now, the truth, you can turn down misaligned work that frees up that frees you up to find the impactful projects that you love. That said, please, please do not become a starving artist. If you really need the money and you're not exactly selling your soul, right? I'll be the last person to tell you not to take a job, like to not take a job. I mean, like, do what you need to do. So the next thing, lowering my prices because I want to be flexible and I agree to rush work because that'll get me more clients. So many entrepreneurs lower their fees, they agree to unrealistic deadlines or accept project changes without proper compensation just to secure a client. And what this does is it pushes away the clients you want and attracts those you don't. So this is actually a recipe for burning out and frustration and resentment, which means you'll never be able to use your talent to have the impact you want. So your business must be sustainable for you too, which means valuing yourself and your work. And lastly, eco sustainability is already enough of a niche. This is a belief I see all the time. So being eco, green, or sustainable alone isn't enough of a niche. It's not a niche, it's a lifestyle, right? We're trying to make this the standard kind of lifestyle. So everyone, and if you look, like everyone around you is doing that. Like we're all in this eco bubble. We all want to protect nature. So if you look at in your LinkedIn network, a lot of people are just saying, I help sustainable businesses or purpose aligned businesses or whatever the terminology is. There's a lot of this general statements out there. So in my honest opinion and in my expertise and the success that I've seen, once people niche down, like you need to niche within sustainability to stand out to mission aligned clients. They want this kind of expertise and specialization. So, do any of these 6 things sound familiar? Which one please, I want to know. So, like, just tell me the number in the chat. Maybe all of them. Number one. Yep. Yep. 3, 6. 6. Yes, 3. Yep. Cool. Thank you. So, what I say is like if you believe and really, really, really believe these myths, I feel that like you could end up on the highway to the bland brand danger zone. And yeah, what that looks like is that you basically look like everybody else. You're not standing out. So why should clients even consider you? Think about it. Like they need you to help them stand out with your talent. So if you're not standing out, then they won't have that confidence that you can help them stand out. This is very important. You'll also get demotivated, right? You may feel like your talents and efforts get unnoticed, and maybe you're lacking directions. Like we're creatives, and we do have a lot of ideas, and so um, that could just yeah take us off into different directions. And becoming a generalist, like they know a little about a lot of different things, which is great. There's nothing wrong about it. I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm a generalist too. I know a little about a lot of things, right? However, specialists are experts and know a lot about one or a few things. Like I'm that too. So like, and that, focusing on that one thing or those 2 things, like that is what will help you stand out. Your dream clients may not hire you because they want a creative who specializes in solving their particular problem. Okay, so if you remain a generalist and they're not seeing the specialization, they won't see that you can help them. And also think about it, like if you have a knee fracture, would you want to be treated by your general practitioner or an orthopedic knee specialist? So yeah, maybe think about that if you're still wondering about the sustainability being a niche type of thing. Meet Sophia. She's great. So she's a member of Marketing by Nature. She's a copywriter and chose the circular fashion industry as her niche. And she believed most of these myths, especially like, I don't know enough about it. Well, she definitely learned. She learned what she needed to learn, and it didn't take years. Um, and she took the plunge and she niched down. And in early October, just a few months ago, she reported that she hasn't been coming to our meetings because she's booked out until the end of the year. Well, turns out I followed up with her. I found out that she's been booked out since September and she's booked through March. So she completed the program exactly a year ago in February. That's when we ended the first cohort. And she's now booked out and is consistently booking out, reaching her goals, her financial goals. So that's the power of niching. And yeah, you can have that too. So tell me in the chat, what niche are you working in? And also, like, I believe that the main reason for this blandness is that there is this common belief that sustainability is a niche. Like, let me say this. Like 10 years ago, yeah, you could have gotten away with that. But now, like, everybody wants to be wants to protect nature. Like, we have to. And so everybody wants good clients, wants ethical clients. So, and there are more freelancers, more business owners now than 10 years ago. So the competition is fierce. Um, oh, wow. Yeah, I'm going to have to look at this a little bit later. There's a lot of good stuff in here, a lot of good niches in here. Cool. Um, so, yeah, I'll say it again. Sustainability is not a niche or whatever eco word you want to use. It's a lifestyle. And let me just yeah, like give an example. If you write that you're a copywriter for sustainable brands, um, like clients will only see that, so they won't really know much about you. Um, And this is like that if you're speaking to everyone, you're not speaking to anyone. You may have heard that too. So that's exactly what that means. And here's a formula just to kind of help you. This is like a value statement formula that you can use, which is I help specific target group get specific result with a specific offer. So if you're a copywriter for, let's say, vegan skincare brands, for instance, instead of using vague messaging, you could say something like gentle, cruelty-free skincare designed for young, sensitive, acne-prone skin. And that makes it immediately clear who your product is for and why it matters to them. And so this is niching down, if you haven't guessed already, is my most powerful strategy to attract mission-aligned clients. And that's the solution. Now, please, if you feel your niche down, please don't leave the call now and say, okay, I don't need this anymore. Because there's like, yeah, if you said no to this before and say, I don't want to niche down, because maybe because there are some fears going on, this is especially when you need to hear me out. So let me go through those fears and just see what comes up for you while I'm saying this. So the first one is like fear of missed opportunities. So I feel like many business owners like fear that if they don't accept every project or client that comes their way, they might not have another opportunity. Like there's no proof of this happening. In fact, like focusing on one niche often brings more opportunities. And when I say like focusing on one niche, I don't mean this forever. It's not like you have to stay and stick with us for 30 years. No, 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 no. This is just like focus on one niche, get really good, be an expert. And, if in a few years' time you want to do something else, then do that. Like, but you have that solid base where you can say, oh, that works. Now I want to try something else. Okay. But if you're doing here, this, and this, and this, that's where the chaos begins. And that's where like things aren't aligned. And yeah. So just focus on one thing at a time. And yeah, like I have three businesses, and I realized, okay, I can't focus on one business at a time. It just can't happen. Um, the next thing is there's a fear of business destruction, like it's going to ruin your business. So some believe also like if they choose the wrong niche, it'll destroy their business. Like there's no evidence of that either. Like I just said, your niche doesn't have to be forever. And the thing is, if you do this correctly, you there's less of a risk of you choosing the wrong niche, and you don't have to stay in the wrong niche for years, right? So anyway, I'll show you how to niche down in just a bit. The next one is exclusion. Like you may feel that you're excluding people, but actually you're only saying, here, let me help you, not no to everyone else. So you can serve your other clients who you'd like to work with if they're not in your particular niche. Absolutely. There's no one saying you can't. So you're not excluding anyone. The next fear is reducing your finances, decreasing your revenue. And sure, this could always happen, right? But with your research, and if you do this correctly, I will help you choose a lucrative niche, one with purchasing power. And also, then again, like, especially if you're just starting out, there's like that beginner's hesitation. So they think because they're not experts, right, they can't start in this niche. But then, like I said, learn, just learn. So tell me in the chat, what scares you most about niching down if you have fears about it? Please put the number or numbers in the chat. Ah, Michael, I'm just going to tell you, like, we will do questions at the end. So if you can post that at the end, that would be really good. 5, 3, 1. Yeah. 3 and 4. Thank you. Niching down is boring. Ah, so in my 12 years of working with entrepreneurs and a total of 34 years like working in marketing, niching down is perhaps the scariest thing for business owners to do. The absolute scariest. And that's why I'm doing this training on this, because we have to get out of our comfort zones, right? It gave Anna, an illustrator and also member of Marketing by Nature, a mini panic attack at first, but she did it anyway. And as soon as she did it, she immediately got a new client who later said it was because of her change in her LinkedIn profile. Voila. Like immediately she got a new client because of it. I already talked about Sophia and all the other members. Like this is like the bread and butter, the vegan bread and butter. So, and it's not just solopreneurs, freelancers, coaches who have this problem. Like every business owner. My ex-employer had this problem. He had three businesses that were completely misaligned. They had nothing to do with each other, and I was trying to market them. I'm like, I can't market this company. It was like crazy. It was just he was all over the place because he's also a very creative person. Um, and but once he did it, oh my God, like everything was then like the light shone in his brain or something. It was like, oh, that's what this is like amazing. So the amazing how focus works, seriously. So it does take guts and a bit of grit, and those who effectively niche down will stand out and more easily find the right group of people to serve. The benefits and results outweigh the fear. I did skip this, so just for the replay, I'm putting this in here so that you could like stop the replay and read about Anna. Okay. And this is something that Anna and the other members of Marketing by Nature learned right away. So it's the second of the 9 steps because it's vital. It's absolutely vital for a solid marketing strategy. And knowing your clients and focusing on one group will make you an expert in your niche. And, you know, so many people struggle with the limited beliefs that we went over before, those myths, but they believed in the process and stepped out of their comfort zone and made it happen. And once they engaged with people in this niche, then they saw those results, like new clients, more followers, speaking opportunities. So it's powerful. But like I said, only one part of an effective marketing plan. You need the other pieces too, which I'll discuss in a bit. And the thing is, it's not enough to know what to do. You have to also know how to do it, right? So that's what I'm going to teach you right now. And I want to share my 5-step process so that you can find the best niche for you. So the first step is to identify your sweet spot. I will go into this in more detail in just a bit. The second thing is you want to identify your ideal client and their specific problem. And you can do this with extensive online research. And then once you do that, then you can conduct interviews with your potential clients to validate their needs and their problems, identify the root causes of those problems. And if you're creating any kind of content for your client, you'll want to identify the root causes of your client's problems as well. And then once you do that, then you refine your problem analysis. So you optimize what you mapped out during your online research phase, which is step 2. And you kind of put those together. So you have your online research, and then you talk to your clients because you want to know about your clients before you hop on a call with them, right? So that's why you do the online research first. And then you hop on the call with them, you validate that, and then you will add to it, or you'll get more insights. And then once you put all that together, then you can define your client avatar and you can identify patterns and characteristics of your ideal clients after gathering all this information. And this is like ongoing. Like you will always learn about your clients. You will learn their behaviors. You'll learn about more problems later on. This is something that you just don't do, for an hour and then, put it away and let it collect dust. This is an ongoing process because you want to serve your clients in the best possible way. So unfortunately, we don't have time to like really dive deep. So we will just dive into the define your sweet spot exercise. So here, let me put this. Yeah, Divyesh just put the link in the chat. It's in Miro. If you have a Miro board, what you can do is you can copy and paste it in your Miro board or a Miro account, or you can just draw four circles now. You will get the replay. You will see this. So you please don't do the work now. Like do it after the training, okay? But you'll also get the link in the Miro board in a follow-up email. So no worries now. In that first green blob right there, I want you to describe what kind of societal impact you want to make with your talent. Okay, it's got to be something that you can actually change. You can't say, save the planet. For one thing, we cannot be so bold that we can even think that we can save the planet. First of all, we can't even destroy it, right? Like Mother Earth, I'm just going to go off on a tangent and just for a minute, because Mother Earth is resilient and humans we're not, or other species, we're not resilient. Like, I think that Earth will be just fine without us, right? So it's our own species and other species that we have to save and protect in order to not Mad Max our way through life or future generations too. So that's the goal. So this whole narrative about saving the planet is bullshit. It's just not right. So what kind of societal impact can you make with your talent? Be realistic about this. And then in the purple blob, describe what you love to do, which should also be something that you specialize in. Okay, what do you love to do? And then in the pink blob, what is the main problem of your client, which you can solve with your talent? You're seeing a pattern here. It's all has to do with your talent. What can you do? And then the yellow one, describe your ideal client with purchasing power. purchasing power, very important. We all want to help everybody, but we also have to feed ourselves, right? And then put all that together, and then you got your sweet spot. Okay. And like I said, take some time after this call to map this out. You have the link, doing it. But wait, Ellen, I do want to say, but we're not destroying the planet. We cannot destroy the planet. We can't. Like Mother Earth is so resilient. We are just a hiccup. We've only been here for like 2 seconds of the Earth's timeline. We cannot destroy it. We are not that powerful, which is great. Like that, it shouldn't like take our responsibility of protecting us. We have to protect ourselves and we have to protect other species because we need other species to protect our own species, right? But the earth will be fine. We'll be fine. But yeah, I understand like it's those species that we are destroying. But like the planet will be fine. We'll be fine. Or it will be fine. So, let's see. So once you do that, then I want you to go through the steps. The step 2 to do the online research, and then start getting on those client calls and asking your potential clients what they're going through and everything. So here's an example, which is also in the mirror board. I'm not going to go through it right now. So like, let me just go here. That one step 3, like after your online research is comfortable, right? You can do it at home. Nobody's watching you. Who cares, right? Once you come here and start putting yourself out there, that's when people quit. That's when they stop. Okay. And because of the fear coming out, because you're putting yourself out there. So I really don't want you to do this because if you want a successful business, you do have to put yourself out there. You do have to reach out to clients. You have to. Otherwise, because they won't like immediately come to you. This is the work we have to put in. So it may be a little bit out of your comfort zone, but once you do it a few times and once you get that validation, once your clients are saying, wow, like with Stacy, a member of Marketing by Nature, they were like, oh my God, like we need somebody like you. She's a brand designer and she's working in the regenerative agriculture industry. Like to have that kind of validation, like I'm getting chills right now. Like that gives you confidence. And that made her like, okay, wow, that really motivated her. That's what it's all about. When people say they need you, that's when you know, okay, I'm in the right spot. So please don't be like most people and give up, okay? Let me see. So yeah, like everybody who I've worked with has done this work. They've gained the confidence. This has also clarified their messaging. Their messaging is like they now don't spend hours on each post or each article. Like they just like, okay, now I know their problems. Now I know what they're going through. Bam, 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 out, publish, move on, right? And like it then also turns sales calls into conversations, not pitches. And that is powerful. So now that you know how to do it, let me tell you how you can mess this up. So the first thing, like being way too specific, that happens too. Like, for example, if you want to target 30-year-old redheaded females with tattoos living in Cambridge who need their ESG reports for clients completed by January, like, please don't do that because she may be there, but that's about it. So don't be that specific, please. Not doing your research, like before getting on calls with clients, if you don't do your online research and kind of know what they're going through, especially if this is a new niche, then yeah, you won't know what questions to ask. You'll just waste both of your time and you won't impress them enough. So yeah, do your online research first, and then with that, not validating your client's problems. So only doing research because it's within your comfort zone. Okay, so reach out to clients. You have to talk to them. Another one is not choosing a niche that you're passionate about. Like I say, the wrong niche for you, right? Like if it's only money, but you could care less about the industry. Like I did this actually in the beginning. I tried it because I was like, okay, well, yeah, the clothing industry, the fashion industry is so dirty, and I really want to, I don't want to change it. But I am not a fashion. That's not my passion. I don't have a passion for fashion. So I quickly learned, like after a couple months, I was like, nope, nope, not doing that. So this was like years ago. Oh my gosh. Um, so you definitely want to know, you definitely want to be on board with the niche you try. And also ignoring market demand. Like even if you love your niche, if there's no demand for it, if you don't have any competition, that's a bad sign. A lot of people say, "Oh, I don't have any competition." Uh, that, yeah, that means there's usually not a market, or you're not considering your indirect competition. I don't want to get too deep into this, but there are different types of competition, and so you want competition. Competition is good. It's good. Um, so yeah, and I know like once you do this work and you've taken the steps like towards achieving success, then like finding your niche strengthens all the aspects of your marketing strategy. Like it clarifies your brand, it helps you connect with the right clients, it shapes your offer, and it refines your message. So with a clear niche, everything feels and is more aligned and effective. It's just easier. And okay, so yeah, put in the chat, like let me know what part of this exercise, the here I'll go back to it. Like what part of this sweet spot exercise is most illuminating for you? Like what has anything come up for you since we went through this, or has any new have any new ideas been sparked or anything like that? Put those in the chat. Totally, I don't have a passion for fashion either. So I will move on. I'm looking at the time right now. Okay. So earlier I mentioned there are 9 strategies to attract your ideal clients, and to become a successful entrepreneur, niching down is the most powerful. So what are the other 8? You have to have a branding strategy. And I don't mean a logo and CI like design. I mean the strategy, okay? You have to know who you are. You have to build an irresistible offer to help your clients solve the problem. Commit to a consistent lead generation plan to get those steady clients. Book out 2 months in advance. Craft your message so that it resonates with clients with purchasing power. And the plan the right kind of activities that align with your values and schedule. And then you want to learn how to sell your offer and handle objections or so-called reality checks like I don't have a budget, and learn how to continuously and effortlessly bring in clients. And then learn which metrics are important so that you can optimize your strategy to know what marketing activities are working and where to spend your time. Because time is way more valuable than money because it's finite. So you have to prioritize what activities you do. And if you want to save your precious time and gain those skills and more, I'd like to introduce you to Marketing by Nature. So I've mentioned this a couple of times throughout, right? It's an interactive group program where you'll learn how to ethically market yourself so that you can enjoy a steady stream of revenue and clients. And we're welcoming the new cohort of Marketing by Nature right now, with the last day to register on February 20th. So whether you're stuck working on projects or with clients that don't align with you, or are struggling to get enough clients and are trapped in the feast or famine cycle, joining us will help you master powerful ethical marketing, sales, and messaging skills. And it's right for you if you're a creative entrepreneur committed to using your talent to protect nature, because I speak a lot about nature. You're seeking a steady stream of ideal clients. You seek a supportive and engaging learning environment. And you value ethical marketing and sustainable practices, not these harmful tactics that cause overconsumerism. and you're ready to step beyond your comfort zone for growth. So, Stacy, I think I've mentioned her already, but she was in that situation, like she wanted these things when she signed up. And since completing the program exactly a year ago, she had quit her job. Like this was like in the summer. She quit her job as an employee, which allowed her to foster a dog again. Here we go, getting chills again. So that was like a dream of hers. Um, and in the replay, you could look at all the other stuff that she accomplished in that year. Like she had an ROI of 1,012.83%, which means within 3 months she gained like 10 times more than what she invested in marketing by nature. Okay, this is beautiful. Anna, remember the one who had the panic attack? She illustrated this for me. And this is the roadmap that I take you through during marketing by nature, during our time together. And so the first one, sow your seeds. That's the first step. And I help you define your value. This is like the branding part. Strategically position your brand, identify and define your ideal client, niching down. We do this together. Specialize to be the expert in your field and build an irresistible offer. Okay, that looks like that. And I think I'll just stay here. Well, actually, no, I want you to see these two, but they are on the page that we'll give you the link to later on. So the second step is we'll then focus on building your messaging ecosystem to enhance your visibility, credibility, and drive change effectively. And you'll learn how to create compelling messaging and content that positions you as a visionary leader in your industry. And we'll also help you organize your copy within a content library, making it easy for you to access, navigate, and compile for quick content creation. Like I said, no more spending hours on one post. So step 3 is prune your plan. And here we'll create a promotional strategy that aligns with your values and schedules. Because you could do anything. You could start dancing on TikTok if you want. You could be all over the place. But it has to align with you, with what you want to do and the time you have to do it so that you can better manage your marketing. The fourth step, very important, sales. The fourth step is all about establishing a robust sales process to learn how to counter objections, so-called reality checks, with confidence and ease. Shorten your sales cycle and free yourself from anxiety of having to pitch or go on a sales call. It's a conversation. I will teach you how to do that. Fifth, gather your harvest. Now it's time to create your content and go out there and implement. There's not much more I need to say about that. Sixth step. So you'll learn what marketing activities are working well and what needs to be optimized. I will tell you what to measure, how to measure, and what you need to be paying attention to and how to analyze it. Now, if you sign up, you will get a strategy call with me. You will get 12 group calls, 90 to 20, like 1.5 to 2 hours over the course of 3 months. Then we'll have monthly meetups for Q&A and general support. And also I'll invite expert guests for trail mentor trainings, as I call them. You'll get full support in our private community with all the learning materials that go along with it, worksheets, templates, examples, valuable resources. And you get the recording sessions if you can't make it live. And the best thing is, this is lifetime. You will get the support you need throughout. So I'll also show this in the recording. I can't go through this. This is what people have said about marketing by nature. You can stop the recording and read that. Yeah. And yeah, I just want to also say expect an ROI, a return on investment. Like I said, with Stacy, it was 1,012%. So these are some of the, this is the, some of the students in the first cohort, that's a lot. They got the return within 3 months. And you can schedule a call with me. So I will give you all the links soon. Like I said, the deadline is February 20th. So looking at the time, it is now 10 of. Seb, where are you? I think we could do plan A. What do you think? Where are you?
I'm here.
What do you
Yes.
think?
We're on the edge, I think. So 9 minutes. I see also a lot of folks without their camera on, which might make it hard for our breakout rooms. So I'm gonna go with plan B and still have a lot that
Okay.
I want to say. So maybe you want to do a little introduction about me?
Okay.
Who
I
am
will.
I?
I will. Yeah. Sebastian Vivacqua. He. I hired this wonderful man. He's a fractional CRO. That's a Chief Revenue Officer. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen now. Okay. Let's go back to us. And I hired him a few weeks ago because I want help and I want to grow as well. So he's been guiding me and we've been working together for the past 2 weeks and yeah, he thought of this one exercise which I thought was great and he's going to explain it now. But I need to also put him in the spotlight. There we are. So I'm going to add you as a spotlight. There you are. Okay.
There
So
I am.
take it away, Seb.
Thank you, Jess. And yeah, a little bit about me to add to the mix. I lived in New Zealand, so I'm originally from Chile, Argentina, mixed currently in Chile. I've lived in New Zealand, I lived in Netherlands, lived in Portugal, and I've worked in sales with clients and customers from literally all around the world. Haven't I'm not missing any continents. Maybe Africa. Maybe I could say some parts of Africa, but I have a lot of commercial experience, and I'm very happy to be part of the ethical brand marketing team. We say internally the EVM team. So in terms of the exercise that I have for today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start talking a little bit about storytelling, and I'm going to leave you all with an exercise. So I'll put some notes in there and some questions. For those that are taking some notes, and I'm going to leave some notes in there on the chat so you can take this home, this good storytelling messaging exercise. First off, about storytelling. I mean, if your competitors sell the same thing for right around the same price, at least in a lot of cases, what makes you the person worth buying from? That's a question. Why are you the best option? Number two. And is it because you'll race to the bottom the fastest, or because your clients know enough about you to actually be able to trust you? Important question right there. The story you tell is the one of the only ways to truly differentiate yourself from the competition. So your story actually matters in a nutshell. Um, what we use storytelling for, and I always like to tell everyone, it's storytelling is a skill that we should work on our entire lives because we use it for personally in business. If you're having fun conversations, you tell stories, and whoever tells the stories are best is likely the person that you're having a laugh with or you're being super engaged with because your brain is super activated at that point. Now, when you rail that back to business, storytelling is there to activate our client's brain to gain and maintain that attention, in the process build trust and credibility, and overall make the interaction very enjoyable. We're focusing on the messaging part, but when you translate that into how you can use that in a conversation, everything makes a difference. And when sharing your story with your clients, what we have to focus on is you start with the beginning and you're recognizing that your client it's probably not going to care about the coordinates and time of your birth to start with, unless you make it applicable in your current conversation. So when you have flow, you're going to start with the beginning. You have a structure in place where you want to make sure that it has a flow, it has an end, and there's a middle in there. So when we think about that in messaging, I'm just going to give a really back now to how we can think about stories in a simple way for messaging. Key example here that we worked on. We say a solar energy startup struggled to gain trust because their website was cluttered and confusing. And after a UX focused redesign and powerful messaging overhaul with a copywriting colleague, their conversions doubled and they secured investor funding. This reinforced my mission to help renewable energy companies turn awareness into real action through strategic design. So we kind of, in that example, are niching down, while at the same time, we created a little problem into that story at the beginning. There is resolution in there, and you kind of position yourself. This is one way of telling stories. So this is why I'm going to paste this example first right there in the chat. So you have it. See, sharing it with everyone. So that's the example that I just shared. A rule of thumb when sharing stories is to understand how perceptions work, because our perception, the way we see things, is not the same way as how others are going to see it in the end. So that definitely makes a difference in how you niche down. That's why when you think of niching down, and you understand not the perception of how you're niching down the clients you're working with see things, then you're able to tell stories in a complete different way. So with this said, I'm going to leave you with two things to take home with you and think about. So point A that I want to leave you with is, think of a moment when your product or service made a difference. Dropping that in there, and take that note with you. So you can actually, if you haven't done this exercise before, then I truly recommend you to spend some time thinking about those moments, because that's where your stories are. So you can add that into your messaging. Now, point B, I want to drop here, is what did this experience teach you? How does it reflect your brand values? So that ties with the point A on that exercise that you're going to be doing them together, let's say. So one comes after the other, and hopefully with all that together, you're able to, get more stories in there that you can use towards your messaging. Your messaging's being either when you're talking to people and having conversations on LinkedIn, but also at the same time when you're sending emails out. So be specific and use real life examples. Another point that I want to drop in there. Take those notes with you. Now, in the process with your messaging, think of curious questions to clarify and strengthen the message, right? As you think, on that, and adjust tone, clarity, and that emotional appeal, and ask to yourself, does it feel authentic and compelling? Cool. Right. So I would recommend you to start creating, like, we can call it even talk tracks. So shift away sometimes when you're doing presentations. I always say that, you got the script going on, but when you're out there talking to your clients, your potential customers, you want to shift into more talk tracks, a way of having 2-3 sentences that you develop constantly as you're asking this type of questions. You can create a Google Doc and start working immediately on this exercise when you finish. And you could have multiple 2-3 sentences that you're crafting about your stories. Now, I shared a general example. Now, you can think of adding more personal stories in there, and adding more flavors into the exercise itself of messaging. And all of this should help you in the end to be able to have more things to send out to your niche clients. Yeah. So that's it. I'm gonna almost on point on time, because I want to leave enough time for all the questions. So I'm gonna pass the mic back to you, Jess.
Yeah, thank you. So before we go on to the questions, I have a surprise announcement, and I I am gifting 3 people a free 60-minute strategy session with me. So what I want you to do is to apply and just fill out a form with 3 questions, and the best answers will win. And I just want you to, fill this out before February 18th, and then I'll let you know within a week. And let's see, is the link there? Yeah, Divyesh already put the link in there. So apply to win a free one-to-one with me. I also will add that link in the email, in the replay email, which you will receive in, a couple of hours. Okay, so yeah, so that's basically it. So let me just also, yeah, that's basically it. So I guess now we can enter the Q&A session. So tell me your questions. I will look at the chat. And okay, so and let's see. What if my client doesn't have purchasing power? How, oh, okay. How, I have to be careful because it's like it keeps on jumping. How do you know if there is market demand for your niche research? Absolutely. Yeah. So like online research, there are different tools that you can use. I can't think of the name right, like Crunchbase. That's a tool. Those are for like bigger companies that you can see, how big the companies are and stuff like that. If you like, you can't exactly ask them, do you have purchasing power, right? When you're on a call. What I do is like I suggest to ask for their budget. They will say, "Oh, I don't know how I don't have a budget," right? Like that's often the answer when you get like that, when you ask for the budget. However, if you frame it in a way that you say, "Well, I have to know what the ballpark is so that I know what I can offer you," right? If you are doing um, if you are writing a proposal, a customized proposal, you have to know, in what boundaries you have. Like otherwise, it's kind of hard to, yeah, to even write a proposal without knowing the client's budget. So you, yeah, try to ask the client their budget. Um, there are some generalizations that sometimes are true and sometimes not, like startups and NGOs, they tend to have, less purchasing power. However, once you start asking for the budget and stuff, then you'll kind of get an idea as well. It'll be hard for small companies to find that out with online research. I feel that's kind of hard to find out. Unless you see them like writing on LinkedIn, hey, I want to invest in this and I'm hiring and stuff like that. Like that's a good indicator too, like if they're hiring. um, yeah. Does that help? Do you have any other questions after that? Does that You can also get on microphone and like speak if you want. But does that answer your question, Annette?
Kind of, yeah. I think I'm also trying to figure out like how I can help myself even figure out what my niche is. And
Hmm.
so I'm hoping by doing some research that will help inform that.
Yeah.
Um, kind of working both into one another. And I guess what I'm asking is kind of like figuring out where to start with all of that.
Yeah. If you look at the replay, you'll see the steps. Like, do that sweet spot exercise first, just to get an idea. Like, you may not know exactly the clients, but like you can say, okay, well, I want to look into these three target markets, and then start doing your online research there. And that's the way I'd approach it. In, if you're not really clear, if you're clear and you say, "Oh, I really want to start there," then start there and do the research and make sure that they have purchasing power before like putting all your time and effort in there. Does that help? So yeah. So just do the steps. If you have any questions, DM me on LinkedIn. Okay, be happy to help. Um, okay, Tracy. Oh, okay. No question. Thank you. Have to go. Okay. Can I ask about niching? Yeah, Jennifer, come on down. Do you want to talk or do you want to write it?
Yeah, is it all right if I just say, I was just going to ask, because
Absolutely.
obviously if you niche and you've got a product and you're sort of prospecting it to a particular client, and the client then sort of jumps to the conclusion because they think they know what you do because they've seen something similar, or they say, oh yeah, I know what you do now, I'm not interested in that. Do you know what I mean? Because with the niching, if it's something quite specific and slightly new or innovative, and by its very nature is niche, and then but people think it's something that it isn't, or something similar to something they might have seen before. It's like, no, 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 we don't know. I don't need that. And so you're then like a bit, when you're wrong, because it's not actually what you think it is that obviously, that comes down to having the experience of being able to pitch your product or service in such a way which is kind of really exquisitely sort of well communicated, to be able to exactly kind of get across what it is you do or offer. But obviously people, some people who come to, even if they're well researched and you think, oh yeah, that looks like a great sort of potential, and they're then sort of like, no, no, because they sort of think they already know what you do, even though they kind of don't. I think that's something I struggle with.
Okay. Yeah, like thing is that's messaging, like how to
Yeah,
do,
yeah,
right? How to take them from one awareness stage to the next, so that
right, yeah,
if they're unaware of the problems that they have, or that your solution could really help them, then
oh yeah,
you have to guide them through. You can't just jump to the solution, because they'll be like, oh, well, that's not relevant for me. I can't,
yeah.
I
Okay,
don't know
no, that
what
totally
that is.
makes sense.
So yeah, there are different, like, I do teach this in Marketing by Nature, like
Yeah,
how to
yeah,
move them from one awareness stage to the next. And that's, like I said, it's just messaging and building that messaging ecosystem, so that
yeah.
that conversation is very clear, and then
Yeah, I think
then
that's
you can
something
show your value.
yeah, I think that's something I feel really inexperienced about, of just kind of, I can see the problem, and, but it's just
Yeah.
like you say, yeah, I think that's something I feel I don't intuitively know how to do, and that's something that would be
Yeah.
really helpful to get more understanding of. Thanks ever so much. That's great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's that confidence. It's just that
Yeah,
confidence, of really knowing your clients so well that it's
yeah,
just that conversation, right?
great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So Janine, do you find that bigger companies versus smaller ones are more likely to hire freelancers within this eco space? I feel like it's hard for big companies to justify not hiring just a full-time employee, and small companies are less likely to have a budget. Yeah, that really depends. I feel that the way people are running their businesses is shifting. There are a lot of companies who aren't hiring employees, but are hiring fractional. Like, I hired a fractional CRO, Chief Revenue Officer. I'm a fractional CMO, Chief Marketing Officer. We come into a company, we're there for 3-6 months, get things straight up. Like, we optimize or create the strategy, we train the teams, and then we move on to the next company. That is a lot cheaper. I don't want to say cheaper. um, um, More cost effective for the bigger companies. And it's a very lucrative offer for them. So, and the fact that, there's a lot of people working remote now, I think that has shifted as well. That's a conversation that does need to have. That said, bigger companies will still have employees and stuff like that. It's not going to completely shift. But I feel it's not only the smaller companies that are hiring freelancers these days. In the eco space, that I feel like the startups, they tend to have less purchasing power, because they're in that, like, investment funding type of situation. However, they also kind of need to be trained. Like I say, like, fair trade companies should not should not expect freelancers to work pro bono. Like, we kind of have to train them. And we can, like, I work with the members of Marketing by Nature in this, like, how to handle the objection, I have no budget. Because honestly, you cannot start a business without a budget. Like, freelancers can, and they do. They, like, just start their business. However, they still have to invest in their business. They still have to buy software. They still have to get the training they need. They still have to hire coaches. in order to run a successful business. And so I think there's a shift that we also have to, a mindset shift in these companies, in these smaller companies, who say, I don't have a budget. It's just that conversation and say, well, you know, I, yeah, it depends upon the situation. Like some solopreneurs really don't have money to invest. That's a different situation. Then you really can't help them. You can't keep on working with them for free, right? Um, so let me see. I feel like it's hard to find. Yeah. Does that answer your question? Does that help? Like, Janine, there you are.
Yeah, it does. I guess a follow-up question, but I don't know if you still have time, is are you reaching out to bigger companies or are they just coming to you by like virtue of, for instance, a testimonial on your website?
Yeah. Well, that like in the beginning, you would probably have to reach out, right? Like if you do this niching down work, if like once you start getting like yeah, you do the niching down work, you have the marketing strategy, you're doing content creation, you're also doing lead generation, which means also like reaching out. Once that gets rolling, then they start to come to you. They can absolutely go to your website and read a testimonial in the beginning stages, but I can't guarantee that. Like, how far are you along in your business?
Oh, I mean, it's been some months, but I don't do that much in terms of outreach. But I find that when I reach out to bigger companies, it just gets lost in, their emails or never really
Yep.
actually reaches anyone. Whereas smaller companies, there's more likelihood that someone will actually see what
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. And that's the thing with emails. Like if it's a pitch, like I will immediately delete it, me personally. Like if it's an email. If we're in the EU, if you're reaching out to EU clients, you have to have certain GDPR compliancy with that to be able to cold email people, just as a warning. It is possible, but you have to do certain things to be compliant. Um, pick up the phone. A lot of people have a problem with that. Pick up the phone to big companies. They're still calling. That's something nobody does, and it will make you stand out. But everybody emails, like so many people emails. DMing, I find works a lot better, but also you have to build a connection. You can't just pitch them right away. Then, like it's a long-term strategy, this lead gen, to be connected with people and really build a relationship because you don't get married right away when you meet somebody, right? It's the same thing. You have to give it some time. And especially if you've only been doing this for a few months. So, but you have to have that strategy in place so that you're not like all over the place and just, trying to reach everybody at the same time and whatnot. So does that help? Yeah. Okay. So let me just see. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. Um, Let me see. Ba-ba-ba-bam. I have a question about the program. Do you include specializations or guidance that would help us niching down during the program, meaning technical specialization, for example, in biodiversity, circular economy? What I do have, like I have exercises that we do together. We do like these design thinking facilitated workshops. So we do those together. I have a bunch of resources where you have job boards in particular areas, and also where you can research companies as well. I think like one of those was Crunchbase. I can't think of the other ones that I have in my resource sheet. Like I have a ton of resources that I also give you, and um, and ideas on how to directly outreach them, how to DM them, how to, what kind of messaging you should be sending to them, how to connect with them and build this relationship that we were just talking about. So yes, there's a lot of individualization in this group program, and we work together, but I also work with you on a one-to-one basis but not like, all these like one-to-one calls. It's still the group calls. You get one one-to-one call, but in our community, you can always reach out to me via DM on LinkedIn or in my email or in the community. So you get that individual support as well. And this is lifetime. So as you grow, you'll have different challenges that I can also help you with. Natalie, I can't see you, but does that help? Do you have any more questions about that?
No, that was very clear. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Okay. Nico. Okay, I want to keep this like short, but okay, I only see one more from Annette. What is my, oh, that's weird because I already answered that. So okay, I'm going to move on. The phone can be really refreshing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it looks like that was the end of the questions. Does anybody else have any other questions?
I think it was a final. There's a fun question that was thrown before, and it was, is a sweet spot based on ikigai? So it's a fun question someone asked. The sweet spot exercise of mirror, is it based on ikigai? Someone asked before.
On Ikigai. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm not understanding you, Seb.
So the ikigai, the framing, but it's not, I guess, is the answer. It looks like ikigai, which is a framework to the reason for being
Oh,
ikigai.
okay.
Yeah.
It's a Venn diagram. Yeah, it is a Venn diagram. I was like, what is Iki? Now I know
Ikigai.
what you're talking about. Yeah, it is a Venn diagram. I mean, I designed it myself, but well, I had my brand designer design the blobs, but and I just put it in Miro. But yeah, I think just that Venn diagram thing, because in the middle, that's where everything comes together. That's your sweet spot. Okay. Any other questions? Nope. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was just the pronunciation. I was like, what? What's going on? Yeah. Um, awesome. So, yeah, just expect a replay mail soon in a few hours. And also you'll get a couple of other emails like with the Miro board link and other information. And if you have any questions, just reach out to me. Most of you know me on LinkedIn. Yeah. And also when you get the emails, you can just email me as well. Okay. Can you send me a link to learn more about your program? Yeah, that will be in the chat. Can you write that down? Yeah, okay. Divyesh just put the links in there. So the marketing by nature is the first link. And then if you want to talk to me about this, just schedule a call with me. Or if you want to just DM me, there's my link as well. Yeah, that information, it's just click on the link and you'll find all the information on there. The cost of the program. And yeah, cool. All right. So I guess that's it. Thank you for your time. And I'm really, yeah, like I said, I'm really grateful that you're here and that you took the time. And yeah, apply for a free session as well. I'd love to help you out there as well. And yeah, I guess we'll see each other probably in DM or in the DMs or in directly in Marketing by Nature. Okay. Talk to you later. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.